Greetings, Grand Rising Facebook, and whenever you're watching the replay. The idea was to have lives every 5 a.m. But life happens, and life doesn't always go as planned. However, I am here. What am I talking about on this mid-late morning? My signature challenge. One of the things that I'm discussing. So with the signature challenge, you know what? Let's go back. Why did I originally start with mother? As many of you know, I have 3 children. I was pregnant 4 times. The 3rd pregnancy resulted in a miscarriage. My prior 2 deliveries was, for me, very traumatizing. Experiences that I did not want to have happen again. The 3rd pregnancy was also traumatizing. As you can imagine, a miscarriage is traumatizing. With the miscarriage in particular, after or while I was going through the miscarriage, as the doctor determined that the child was no longer viable, that was growing inside of me, it was suggested that I terminate that pregnancy and have a D&C. I declined his offer. The doctor also suggested that I not get pregnant again. Shortly thereafter, I get pregnant. The same doctor then suggested that I terminate that pregnancy. I declined his offer. And I had my child. I decided to look for a midwife and a doula. I ended up with two doulas, okay? And I ended up with 1 midwife. When I tell you everybody was late to the party, okay? The backup doula, the original doula, the midwife, everybody was late. So, on June 16th, 2018, my lovely, now 8-year-old, as of yesterday, made her grand entrance in my bedroom with my sister catching her, and she was breached, and she was my healthiest. She suffered no complications. That pregnancy, I was told, because of my age, elderly woman, I guess elderly, according to the doctors, because I was having a geriatric pregnancy at the ripe old age of 34, along with my health complications that the doctor was telling me I had. It would have been, I would have been rushed. I would have been pushed to have a C-section because she was breached. Like, there would have been so many things pushed upon me. With my own research, I'm not a doctor, but I do like to research things that concern me. So with my own research, I found that it was much safer and healthier to have my child at home. Okay? I did that. She's here. With my own research, I found out what I should be eating and doing to prepare for the delivery. And she's here. She's healthy. That said, I also continue to research. I then went on and received my doula certification via DONA. I and previously, I studied Dr. Sebi and Dr. Lalila Africa on and off, and various other holistic health practitioners on and off in my leisure, to find my own methods of healing myself. Again, I'm not a doctor. I just would prefer to heal myself by myself, if at all possible. That is my experience. So I said, well, what if there's other women out there who want this type of help? Then that's where the name With Mother came from. I wanted to help the mothers. And while doing this research and doing business research, I've found if I was to help a mother in that capacity, whether or not I believe I'm capable, I could have charges filed against me. Especially if there are any fatalities, while the hospitals have fatalities as well. So I'm saying, maybe that's not for me. I'll just do my own research by myself. And while instead of giving advice, I read this book and it says this is a good book to read, that type of thing. And so while doing the research and experiencing life, I also found that each and every postnatal period, I was struggling. Okay? Each and every period after I gave birth was a struggle for me. Just doing the basic day-to-day things, like I would forget to brush my teeth. The last delivery, I thank God they were old enough to do the basic things like make sandwiches themselves, because I would forget to feed the children. There was food in the house, but it was a struggle. That said, I also realized other women may have the same struggle. Again, where the name With Mother came from. And I realized that not everybody would have been able to pay the fees that normal housekeeping will require. So I desperately wanted to do it for free. I wanted to clean every mom's home for free. And that became very taxing on my mental health. on my financial health, on my family. So I'm like, I can't do that. I can't clean everybody's home for free. And I also wanted to expand, like I said, to clean everybody's home, especially all the mamas. Can't do that. I was beginning to feel the burnout, financially, mentally, and physically. So now I'm charging because I need to feed my family. But at the same time, I know that it's necessary to have, I see that it's necessary to have free housekeeping, extended maternity leave. Okay? I see why. And I'm not a health professional. Like, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I was, past tense, was a CNA, but my certification expired. I was a doula, but that certification expired. I am a yoga instructor. I am a Reiki practitioner. So I see the need. Now, that's where the signature challenge comes in. Can we have 100,000 signatures? Can you tell a story of why it's necessary? Can I get 100,000 videos of you telling a story of why this is necessary? Share the story minus the names if this is not your story to share. Okay? Another reason why I think that this is necessary. Approximately 10 years prior to his death, my uncle went blind. Was it 10 years? No. I said 10 years, but maybe 15 years prior to his death, my uncle went blind. He just woke up blind one day. Now, from my understanding, he did receive a lot of help. He had an aide. He had my cousin. At least at the end. He had his niece taking care of him at the end, and he had an aide. But I do know, prior to the full-time care, going in his house smelled like a porta potty. Now this man was before this man was the cleanest I known. Like, his house was immaculate, like a magazine, or better. If you go in that house, if you would have went in that house back then, you could have ate out the toilet. That's how clean it was. It was ridiculous how clean it was. And it was ridiculous of the state it was at the end. Well, not at the end, I retract that. At the period where he was blind. And he was getting help then too. Yes, he was. He was getting help. But he was getting help to the capacity of what they could give him. Okay? Now, I would love it if he would have been able to get more. Um, Now, my aunt, I don't know because I'm not there. She lives in an entirely different state. However, she lost a leg. Now, I have all four of my legs. I don't have four legs. I have both my legs, both my arms, all my fingers and toes. Um, I don't know if she's getting help, so I can't speak to that. But I do think, at least for a little bit, I'm going to need some help. Like doing the basic day-to-day things. Can I get in and out the shower myself? I don't think so. Um, so I would love it for those people to receive help if they're not, and possibly more help. Um, after speaking about this, one day my daughter, my 23-year-old, she was like, I could have got some help, like, and I'm like, huh? I had surgery a lot. She did. There was 1 year, she had surgery twice in 1 year. Okay? So, the parent, me, I had to then be the nurse, be the mom, be the chef, be the maid. Like, I was wearing every hat in the book. And to be the chauffeur without a car, getting her to and from everywhere, in a wheelchair, in the Buffalo winter. So that was difficult to say the very least. I would have loved it if, at all possible, I was receiving help, housekeeping help during those times as well. Could I have had housekeeping services during those times? It would have been wonderful. I would have been able to be more present in the other areas. That brings me to the magazine. My magazine, in efforts to share this this challenge and this mission, along with my business, to share my business, I decided to create a 716 magazine, sharing 716 different articles. There are 11 sections. I'm looking for 65 articles per section. This will be 100% free to participate. Okay? And the article of the magazine, the digital magazine, will also be 100% free. I ask that, especially the business participants, I ask that you share this to 10 people who you think who may want to participate and write an article. I ask that you then share it to all of your on all of your platforms. Okay, with everybody in your circle. I ask that you sign the signature challenge. Okay, this is free advertising for you. Now back to my mission at heart. the signature challenge, the free housekeeping services, the extended maternity leave. There are a whole host of reasons why. I have a lifetime of reasons why people could use these services. And I also have a book sharing one. Actually, in this book, there are multiple reasons why someone may suffer from or struggle with maintaining their home. Okay? In this book, I'm asking that you share it, the book. You share the book. Losing my train of thought. Okay, what I'm asking about for the book, I am looking for libraries. I'm looking for, and this is for the signature challenge too. More for the signature challenge. I'm looking for libraries, for schools, for homeless shelters, for domestic violence shelters. I would love it if I can have a physical signature challenge. I would be at your location, and all of the residents, anybody that they know, can sign the signature challenge and purchase a book. I sign the book. Anybody who purchases the book will receive $30 off a $300 housekeeping service. Anybody who buys merchandise will receive $20, or wears merchandise rather, will receive $20 off housekeeping services. Both the book and the merchandise will be printed via third party, and everything will be print to order. I will have no stock on hand. Okay? You bring the book to me, you wear the merchandise, you get the credit. And 10% of the profits of the book, I want to donate to that organization. Okay? I'm trying to think. You know, I do these lives. I was trying to script it for a while, and then I would still forget things. Now this is unscripted, and I'm still forgetting things. But yeah, share, like, comment, tag a friend, tag anybody. Thank you.